We're all old souls drifting through these flow state memories, trapped in a forgotten time. Fighting to break free from the fears that hold us back, from the truth buried inside. That there's something more waiting for us. We're holding on to these faded reminders of our once forgotten purpose. This purpose is trying to redirect a hopeful spirit back to a path that unites us with our endless love and determination. This old soul defines all space and time. It sits in the peaceful memory of reflection, learning from the lessons given to us over time. It forces its way back to a forgotten wisdom we desire, back to the silent observations of the ongoing memories played over again in our mind, trying to remember. Remember that we already know the knowledge that we seek so desperately for answers. Sooner or later, this old soul will find a way back and once again dance in the playground of possibility. It'll separate itself from the constant urge for unwanted simplicity and live a life through the eyes of courageous curiosity. It will again find excitement in the informative experiences that the universe conspires to share with an open mind. This old soul is the reincarnation of an old idea. Its purpose is to have humility and generosity for the individuals they encounter. To learn from each interaction with empathy and understanding that a setback can deliver a silent instance of reflection. It holds no ill will for another's path of creation or level of learning. It just wraps its energy around the feeling of space and time and provides support for each soul it touches. Don't forget what you once remembered. Your inner wisdom has a long-awaited humble stance against your misbeliefs. Reflect on who you truly are, and remember that this story has all the knowledge to help you write the next chapter. As a dreamer, I place myself at arm's length away from the realist that lies within. I embrace the overwhelming courage to step outside the inner comforts of a fixed reality and reach for the outer world of possibility. Every day I sit and look out. As my mind seems to drift towards the eternal landscape of imagination, I start to realize that my physical reach is limited by my sense of touch. But outside these realistic thoughts of limitations, it leads me to a place of purpose. I dream of what could be and operate outside of the concerns of what if. This unexplainable feeling falls over me, and I begin to realize that this is where I was meant to be, floating within the realm of desire and loving every moment of it. I've always held my dreams close because I never want to lose my true self. I never want to let go of the inner child, wishing for a future full of realized actions captured in time. I can sometimes find myself falling into the characteristics of a realist, which I know I'm not afraid of. I know structure is needed for stability. I know that what's in front of me will need my attention if I want my life to continue to move forward. If I only stay in this realistic world, I'll fall into the trap of complacency. And that inner creativity, reinforced by my imagination, will become buried under the checklist of life. This is the tango I live with, the dance between a dreamer and a realist. Should I play it safe and stay on the side of practicality? Or should I force myself to reach for something new that distorts old patterns and develops new ones? This balance of progression is a tricky path. If I lean too far one way or the other, I could place myself on a road of missed interactions that are trying to show me the benefits between each of them. A dreamer and a realist. My dreams will lead me forward, and my reality will keep me grounded. But I will never replace my heart with the limitations that hold me back. I will chase those dreams with endless determination. The inspired acts of kindness you make shift a world without your approval, and the difference you may never see lies beyond your need for recognition. There comes a time when we find ourselves trapped in our own minds, swimming through the doubts that muddy a path placed before us. Our desperate need to feel like we belong removes us from the true glimpse of wisdom shared with each life we touch. When our intentions are held close, we create a type of greatness that may never be consumed by our own curious conscience. I share this with you because of something I experienced. See, I'd been going through a tough time in my life, where everything started moving pretty fast. And in the moment, I was unable to see the difference I was making. I questioned the outcome of situations because of the increased number of choices that now were needed to be made. But a simple event shed light on the principles I stood behind. See, each morning I would stop by the same coffee shop by my house. And when I entered, I was always greeted with a smile by the people that stood behind the counter. Life moves pretty fast for them too, but they show nothing but respect for each person that enters that door. And I would return that same respect by calling each person by name. I'd say please and thank you and show gratitude for the service they provided. One morning I came in and was greeted by one of the baristas as the customer of the month. Thinking nothing of it, I grabbed my coffee and left. But the next day I returned to see my name placed on a black chalkboard on the other side of the room. When I asked why I was selected, each of them replied that they enjoyed when I came in and the exchange of good conversation we had. It was not always like that, and sometimes the small things mean the most. I was so wrapped up in my own mind that I failed to realize that the simplest acts make the biggest impressions. In that moment, I understood that I'm not always going to see the difference that I make, but the actions are what inspire the type of difference received. And if I can make sure that my actions remain based on a core set of values surrounded by purpose, I may be presented with a glimpse of what my intentions produce. Our own awareness of self can sometimes be lost because of our need for approval. If we hold our principles true to the values we stand behind, the small fragments of what we do see will help us understand the bigger picture of what our kindness can deliver. Our actions form the footprint that leaves an impression on our past choices and later becomes the narrative to our future events. The responsibility of these actions lie directly on our own shoulders, because these actions will soon define the character we wish to become. We live in a world full of decisions, and the decisions we make will provide an equal reaction to the internal principles we embrace. The question is, will that character be crafted through the service of others, or by the selfishness built through its own weakness? The third law of motion states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If every action we put into motion will in turn provide an equal or opposite reaction, this would mean that for everything we put into the world, it's going to come back to us. The way we encounter a present moment, the way we love, the way we react to the concerns of others, these would all be created in a future interaction with ourselves. Can we truly embrace the concept of giving more than we receive, even if our intentions could be perceived as a selfish act in our own eyes? And if we're concerned with being selfish, couldn't that actually represent the thoughts of selflessness? There's a quote from Charles Wendell that says, "We are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible situations." Could the third law of motion be one of these brilliantly disguised opportunities? Could we actually change our external world by putting thoughts into action and holding those thoughts to a high standard of ethical beliefs? All actions are waiting to present themselves to an equal representation of our already appointed reflections. These future outcomes should be based around integrity if we wish to create a reality we deserve. Do our actions represent an opposite reaction that aligns with our internal will of possibility? This is the true test of a character that presents its best self in every moment of interaction. Take control of your own actions, and the world will reward you in return.